Ooh. Ooh.
I like how that's going to be the first sound of the episode. It sounds like Matt is like surprised to be receiving a hand job under the table or something like that. Like, ooh, like that's what that made me think of. Hi everybody, welcome to the podcast.
Yeah.
That's how we start
Hi, Mom.
with hand job jokes. Oh yeah, hi Matt's mom. I forgot Matt's mom is a regular listener. That's right.
That's all right. She knows us well enough.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Good stuff. Well, you were on a rant about beer stuff, and I was like, I missed the last minute, so I just hit record, and then you
That
stopped
works.
talking about it.
I mean, I can keep talking about beer. Actually, Colin, speaking of beer, you checked in a very unique beer that I sent you a couple days ago, correct? It had some very unique packaging, right?
Yes,
Why don't you tell the listeners about that one?
yes, I will pull it up to refresh my memory. I'm still getting over a cold, so if I sound like I'm a little stuffy, that's because I actually am.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can just tell them out of my memory. I just was trying to lead in here.
Yeah. Which one? The yellow, right?
Yellow Belly, yeah.
Yeah. So Yellow Belly is a beer from a strong stout that is brewed to be intentionally sweet and is often made with the addition of a sweet flavored at with the addition of sweet flavored adjuncts such as lactose, vanilla, chocolate, or graham crackers. I will say that so I checked this in as a 3.75. I saw Matt before I checked in, and I saw what your rating was, and I can certainly understand why you would give it such a high rating. So Matt rated it a 4.75. The highest you can give on Untapped is a 5. Um, I guess I gave it a little bit of a lower because this was like another beer where I just couldn't drink the whole thing because of how sweet it was. But like for the the little bit that I drank, it was really good. But I was like, I when I give like when I have a full beer, I want to give like the rating for can you drink this full beer and feel the same way about it throughout the whole beer. And like I guess that's why listener of the show and mutual friend of ours, friend of the show, Devin, gets so mad at me when I always rate my tasters, is because like I'll rate tasters differently. Obviously, like tasters are just tasters, and like if I was just doing a taster of that, maybe I would have given it a 4.75 or a 4.5. But um, that's how.
Colin, I teed it up Happy Gilmore style for you, and you just took a big whiff. It's not what I was going for there. What's unique about that beer?
Well, did I take a picture of it? I don't remember.
Ethan, you need to shake your head.
uh,
Yeah, there we go.
exasperated and
I know.
ashamed.
It's 11%.
It's wrapped to look like a guy wearing a KKK hood.
Oh yes.
And there's
yes.
a reason why.
Yeah, here it is.
Yeah, there you go.
I
Well, you can't see because your background.
Yeah.
But and then did you read the inscription on the inside?
Yes.
It specifically calls out cowards. It's called Yellow Belly. It calls out cowards who have to hide behind a mask for expressing their heinous opinions.
Yeah.
That's what I was going for there because I'm drinking the European variant of it. So it was brewed by two European breweries, Omnipollo and Buxton. Omnipollo is a great gypsy brewer out of Norway, and Buxton is a great stout brewer out of England, and it's called a biscuit stout. It's supposed to be a peanut butter cookie beer. So I've got the anti-Nazi beer called Coward. That's a fist smashing a swastika there.
That's awesome.
And the beer is brewed to celebrate all things new, open-minded, and progressive. Another peanut butter biscuit stout with no biscuit, butter, or nuts. Taste, enjoy, and don't be prejudiced. That's what I was going for. That's what I was hoping for that part.
Yeah, well, I dropped.
Colin went to the full sensory analysis, which was good. It was good, and I totally get the whole like, you know, if you can't drink and enjoy the whole bottle, then it's like, what's the whole point of having a 12-ounce bottle of that beer anyway? If it's like 6 ounces in, you go, bleh.
Yeah, so, I would have needed you guys there to share it with.
Yeah, and I'll say this: I liked Colin's very detailed description of his rating system because it made me think of baseball writers and how they talk about MVP voting. Yeah. How everybody has like specific things that they're like valuing and thinking about and blah blah blah. That's what it made me think of. Yeah.
Well, no, it was good. I enjoyed the in-depth analysis. That's not the setup I was hoping for. I wanted to go over this is only sold in Europe. I got it specially from a friend. I wanted to tie them in together and anyway.
Yep.
Colin, what are you drinking tonight?
I did. I blew it. You're
It's
right.
okay. It's okay.
You're right.
I sprung it on you. It's okay. What are you drinking tonight, though?
So tonight I did pull out the Electric City. There it is.
Okay.
Scranton
Fancy.
Party. Yep. Scranton Party never stops.
That's just a lager, right?
Yep, just an American premium lager.
Which is about as fancy as Scranton gets, really. Now, I mean, really, that's fitting. You know, what's Scranton fancy? Yellow American beer, but it's okay.
I mean, for the longest time, they were known for Yingling. Well, not Scranton, but Pennsylvania was known for Yingling before, craft beer really took off and everything. But my cousin Greg calls it the lager. Like it's just simply known as the lager. Like,
wasn't Lion's Head brewed in Scranton, or am I Lion's Head for the uninitiated is like
yeah,
it's like cheaper than Natty beer.
Mm-hmm.
What about the one that we saw the sign for, Matt, when we were in Philly? That was the wet beer. Schlafly's or Schnebley's or something.
It wasn't an active brand anymore. Schlafly's is still an active brewer out of St. Louis. But
what the fuck were they?
We were actually, I was just this past weekend across the street from Murph's. A good place.
A good place, yes.
But so again, to go backstory here, we were looking for a place to drink before the Tool concert a couple weeks ago, and wandering around, and Ethan found this place called Murph's, a hole in the wall bar and restaurant in Philly, and since then, Ethan, it's popped up on like 3 or 4 like hidden gems in Cincinnati, like
in Philadelphia, you mean?
Philadelphia. Whew, that's a year ago, Cincinnati. But we walk in and the place is inexplicably crowded. It just smells like bad fish. There's kids who look like they're maybe 13 coming up from a basement staircase with plates of food. So I guess that's where the kitchen is. Just like, and they don't know what they're doing. There's some old guy who's kind of cranky and kind of drunk behind the bar, maybe bartending. And we got a seat in the back. And after about 30 seconds, we're like, yeah, we're getting a picture, and then we're leaving.
Nice.
So we got to give it another shot.
I happen to love holes in the wall. I think it's just the people we were with maybe weren't that into it, but.
Well, I agree. I'd say it definitely agrees, or it definitely needs another shot. I wouldn't mind staying there, but we ended up at the garage bar down the street, which wasn't any better.
No, it was shit. I would never go there. Whereas Murph's, I would absolutely go to.
Well, there's a certain bro threshold there that none of us met. So I mean,
it was loud and it was crowded. It was fucking stupid. That was not my type of place.
But Ethan, they had skee ball.
They did have skee ball. The name of the brewing, or the former, if it doesn't exist anymore, Ortlieb's. Ortlieb. Ortlieb's. And people, listeners, if you look up Ortlieb's beer, you can find a picture of their one of the pictures of like their logo and their ad, and underneath it says the wet beer. So I don't know the origin on this, but they had a sign in Murph's about this. And I thought that was really great. And so now you know Ortlieb's is the wet beer. Take that knowledge with you for the rest of your life and cherish it.
I mean, it feels like the precursor to the Bud Light is drinkable ad campaign. Like, so is motor oil. It's a liquid. But it doesn't mean I want to drink
it. So good. Ethan, what are you drinking? And also, why the fuck are you drinking out of an Illinois glass?
Because my partner did her PhD at Illinois,
Illinois.
And she loves it. Why do you hate Illinois? Were they in the same conference as Penn State? They were, weren't they? Big Ten?
Are they in the same conference? Yes.
Didn't they?
Oh, they still
was that the 8 overtime game?
That was the 9 overtime game.
It was hilarious.
Yeah. All states that start with an I are terrible.
All of them.
All of them.
Forget. I mean, I'll agree with Indiana. Like that, just like to quote Jim Gaffigan, like, "Yay, I'm from Indiana. We're moving." Like, that's pretty much Indiana.
Oh man. I am drinking a local beer, local to Maryland. The brewery is called True Respite. This was brought as a guest of a party brought this over like a couple of weekends ago, and I am having it. I love the label art actually. It's this one is called
dolphin?
Trout.
Yeah,
Trout.
Fish art.
And I don't know if the quality is good enough, but it's really a beautiful label. Like the art is really well done, really colorful, really nice. This happens to just be a toasted lager. It's nice. I like it. It's good. It's a solid lager. So True Respite out of Maryland.
Shout out to my friend Hank from Hank's Fish Art. That looks like something he'd draw.
Yeah, that's right.
Hank's Fish Art featured his T-shirt a couple weeks ago.
That's right.
Hank Hershey, I miss you.
Shout
But yeah,
out,
Ethan,
Hank.
I've never even heard of them. I gotta try them out.
Yeah, I mean this one had a good a 407 on Untapped, which is pretty good for a lager.
Yeah.
I didn't look up much else, but yeah, it's a good start. I think. Yeah, we might have to see if we can find them. They're out of Durwood. I don't know where that is, but if it's somewhere in the middle for us, maybe we go hit it up sometime.
Durwood. Now I don't know where that is, but
Durwood, Maryland. That sounds. I don't know. Gosh, Durwood. I don't
yeah,
know. That is kind of
that sounds like it could be like an obscure DC suburb, or it could be like all the way in the tippy tip, which is really just West Virginian light.
Yep.
exactly right.
You know,
Yeah.
like, I'm gonna look it up right now.
So I just did, and like so I looked up Durwood, Maryland, and like as I'm typing it into Google Maps, the top suggestion is Durwood Bible Church. So let's see though. Let's see.
Oh, okay.
Oh, actually, you know what? Yeah, Gaithersburg area. That's near. That's nearby. Okay, that's like straight local. That's like 15 minutes away from me. Okay, holy shit. All right, Matt, maybe we'll have to check it out sometime.
Put it on the list.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay. Nice. All right. What do we got on the docket today, guys?
Well, it's baseball season, finally.
Yes, fucking A. Opening
Yeah.
day is literally on Thursday, right? For
Yep,
the Yankees
by the time
anyway.
this episode airs, the Yankees will be 1-0. Aaron Judge will have 2 home runs. Garrett Cole will have his first win of the season.
Josh Donaldson will have 2 home runs. DJ LeMahieu will have gone 3 for 4 with a double.
He's not even going to start, most likely.
Really? Has
And
he been having
breaking
a shit-
news:
is he still
Greg
hurt?
Bird is a Yankee again.
Wait,
Bird is
wait.
the word.
Wait, he's
Minor
a
league
Yankee
deal.
again?
Well, he's a rail rider.
Oh,
or
because
whatever
because
they
I
are.
saw he had a minor league deal with somebody else. I was just reading about him
Blue
the other
Jays,
day.
yeah, and
Yeah.
he
He
had the
opted
option
out.
to decline if he didn't make the majors, so he
Mm.
wasn't going to make their squad, so he declined and signed with the Yankees.
Yep. That was
Very
another
interesting.
reason why I picked the Scranton beer was for Greg Bird.
Okay.
Apparently he loves Scranton. So.
Greg Bird, so funny. You know, I mean, hey, maybe he'll. It seems unlikely. It seems unlikely that he's all of a sudden going to figure out how to really do it at the major league level. At this point, how old is he now? And I mean, in
Gotta
injuries,
be in
I
his
mean,
30s.
injuries just crushed him, right, for so long.
Yeah. A lot of those baby bomber
29.
Yankees have dealt with injuries. Like I saw, Matt, when you said that Dellin got signed by the Dodgers today, I'm pretty sure he's appeared in 17 games and pitched 13.1 innings over the last 3 seasons.
Well, remember when he came right back and like hippity hopped on the mound and tore his Achilles? Like that was
2019.
that was heartbreaking. Like I'm excited, I'm back. I threw a fastball and struck the guy out. Hop, hop, hop. Ouch.
That was his last
Yeah.
pitch with the Yankees, I think.
Yeah,
Jesus Christ.
like that was terrible.
He was
Like-
so fucking good there for a few years. He was
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Yep. Well, so I have a ton of baseball stuff. And idea guy, if you have anything that you want to add, but first I want to put you on the spot. Again, for those who maybe this is your first time listening, I'm Colin Cernelia, have Matt Root, Ethan Ertz. We are 2 jocks and a schlub. And one of the pieces of feedback that I got that I'll also try to be better about is apparently people like to understand like who we are. Like somebody wrote in and was like, I feel like I can relate to you more. And they were joking about like the time we were talking about my BMI on the podcast and everything. But I guess we don't talk about ourselves enough, like in the sense of like where we come from and what we do. And since last week, we ended up getting into a pretty long discussion about my line of work, I figured I would put Rudy on the spot today. And whether you want to talk about dirt, whether you want to talk about like how you got into your career, whatever, give the listeners just like a 2 to 3 minute spiel about like how you got to be where you are. Talk about being a baseball captain or a football captain, baseball star when you led the league in hitting and everything in high school.
Oh no. That was just dumb luck. No, I guess I wore this shirt. It was serendipitous that I'm wearing my Scott shirt today because I'm a dirt bagger. I work for Scott's Miracle Grow in the greater Philadelphia area. We put dirt and mulch in a bag where if all those pallets of stuff you see outside the store at Home Depot and Lowe's and Walmart, it's got to come from someplace, and it comes from one of 37 Scotts plants around the country. So I'll give a couple highlights. We're one of the biggest recyclers in the country, which is something that's pretty cool. So anytime you put your lawn clippings on the edge of the road or take tree waste and hedges to the green dump, municipalities have to do something with that. they grind it up and they compost it. And guess who buys that compost? We do. So in some cases, we actually make the compost ourselves. We'll just buy the green waste right from the town. Down here, we even get even more creative. We use leftover dirt from the mushroom growing industry. We use coffee waste from a place that makes instant coffee. We take what's left over because guess what? That's great for dirt. We'll take leftover the little logs that they make shiitake mushrooms that the shiitake mushrooms grow on. We'll grind them up and use them because these are all great things to grow your plants in. So this is busy season for us. This is crunch time. This is when everyone is emerging from their winter slumbers. It's not quite too hot yet. It's a little rainy, a little cold, but guess what? It's time to go out and be a good yeoman freeholder, a good landowning American, and dig your hands in the dirt and play in the earth and plant. I'm egging you on, Ethan, and play in the dirt and plant your garden, take care of your house. Maybe start a little window planter box where you can grow 5 or 6 herbs or vegetables. Things that you can just. Nothing's better than ripping off some fresh basil right off your plant, right on your windowsill, and putting it on a pizza. Like that is the closest from farm to table you'll ever get. That is windowsill to table eating right there, and it's delicious. And we like to empower that. So I didn't really give much history. I just kind of got a little excited there about dirt.
And this is what I want for the listeners. A little bit of history here. Please tell us what you got your college degree in.
Oh, I got my college degree in chemical engineering.
Chemical engineering.
And what have I worked in? I've worked in the light bulb industry and the dirt industry. Now I will say caveat on the light bulb industry that took me to like doing fancy super chemicals for TVs and LEDs and that kind of stuff. But it kind of led me down the manufacturing path, which is not necessarily someplace I thought I would go. And I've kind of melded the manufacturing and engineering experience I had with a little bit of leadership and found myself in kind of a technical leadership role in some of these different companies. But since I was just joking with another friend the other day, a hallmark of the Root family vacation was always we had to go to a factory somewhere. So whether it was the Pennywise pretzel factory in Altoona, Pennsylvania, or the Hershey factory up in near Ottawa, Canada, or the Jelly Belly factory out in California, or the Cape Cod potato chip factory in Hyannis, Massachusetts. We always had to go to a factory because it fascinated my brother and I. So what do you know? Fast forward 20 years, that's what we have in our careers. And just a little, I don't know, this might be a deep cut for everyone, but if you think back to the Looney Tunes days, they had I think the music is called Powerhouse. Look up Powerhouse. And it's just that bum 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 bum. Okay, I'll leave it at that. But anyway, it's like the factory music that anytime Looney Tunes showed a factory or a process, it would play that music. And believe it or not, that passes through my head more often than you guys would think as I walk through the factory and watch our product being made. So I'll say one last pitch. I've got 100 of the hardest working folks that I know at my plant working almost around the clock this time of year. They kick butt. They do a great job. Busy season is busy season. I can't believe how much dirt we physically move and bag and get to the customer this time of year, but they do a great job, and I appreciate them each and every day.
Aw.
Love it. That was really great.
Sorry for the singing, everyone. But look up Acme Powerhouse on YouTube and you'll know exactly what I mean. As soon as you listen to it, you're going to know exactly what I mean.
Those are the gems that keep the people coming back, okay? That's the listeners keep coming back to hear what random fucking sounds Matt's going to make on an episode. So in this episode, we're like 10 minutes in. We already got 2 gems in this episode. We got the opening, Matt going, ooh, ooh. And then we got that fucking song. So we're on a roll here.
Now we've got the podcast.
And now the podcast. Yeah, exactly.
He's not happy.
Mm-hmm.
Unbelievable. Record-breaking podcast. I can feel it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, boys. So we can run through my topics. But before we do that, I'm going to give the mailbag some love early today.
All right.
Instead of waiting till the end. And this comes from none other than Brother Dan. This is he says, the weekly baseball question for the pod. Prediction time. Yankees will end the season with blank wins in blank place in the East and will not make the World Series. His personal answers, 92 wins, second place, second place and will make the World Series. It doesn't say if they will win the World Series, just will they make the World Series.
Ooh.
Okay, this is a good one.
92 wins, a wild card, and to the
Great.
World Series is what Brother Dan says.
Right out of the holster, 93 wins, third place. They won't make the World Series.
93 wins is third place.
Yep.
Wow.
Blue Jays, man.
Yeah, this division is brutal. Matt, my prediction is shockingly close to that. I was gonna say like 94 wins, second place, and no to the World Series.
Yeah.
That was my gut prediction.
I mean, you've got last year's
Blue Jays
first place.
and Rays.
Yeah.
Yeah. The Rays won 100 games last year and they didn't even have a full season of Wander Franco.
Yeah.
They got a full season of that guy this year.
Like they just traded away Tyler Meadows, Austin Meadows? No,
Austin Meadows. Yeah.
And
Meadows,
they're still gonna somehow like find a way to decimate the Yankees.
Yeah. You know, I don't even know if I
Choi
should
is
have
going
said
to hit
second
like
place.
7 home runs against the Yankees in the first series of the year because why not?
Yeah, I actually think third place is probably more likely too. I probably should have said third because I kind of think it's going to be like Blue Jays, Rays, Yankees, Sox.
Yeah.
And then who cares about the Orioles? But we'll see.
The Quad A Orioles? Yeah.
So you're both sucking the dick of the Blue Jays right now.
Dude, the Blue Jays are fucking stacked.
Are they?
Yeah, they're fucking stacked, dude.
Are they?
And they went out and they got Matt Chapman.
Do we know who they lost?
Yeah, what's his face?
The Cy Young Award winner.
Yeah, the Cy Young Award winner. Yeah, but they have a whole season of Jose Berrios, I should say, is the correct pronunciation. They have Kevin Gossman, who is like really under the radar, but has been excellent for several years now. And then the rest of their rotation are all like really solid guys. Like 1 through 5 is really good. Yeah, they lost Robbie Ray, but like 1 through 5, they're really, really solid. And Gossman and Berrios both are like very, very good.
Ryu's still there too, right?
And Ryu is still there. He's not the same
remember
that he
what
was.
his ERA was when we saw him in LA, Colin? It was like a 1.2 or something.
Yeah, he was nasty for a few years. Yeah, he's not the same, but he's still a good pitcher. So,
yeah, but we also saw the Yankees tee off on him because when he's off, he's off. He had like a 9 ERA in the back half of the season last year.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, it's the same story for everybody, right? I mean, the Dodgers look like they could win like 150 games, right? But you still gotta go out and do it, and it never actually happens, right? Because people are gonna get hurt, people are gonna have down years, blah 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 blah. But the Blue Jays are stacked, and I think are like primed to like just fucking kill it this year. I don't know, like that young, like insanely talented core. They're also like they're kind of a fun team. So I hope they do well. I think it'll make for a really exciting division.
Vlad Jr. could win the Triple Crown this year and not win the MVP. Think about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, if Ohtani does what he does again.
Or if Trout plays a full year and reminds everybody why he's the best player in history.
Yeah, just look at his stats from the first couple games he played last year. I remember thinking today, looking through it, going, "Oh yeah, that's right." Like,
yeah, he's my guy. Yeah.
I don't necessarily disagree with you guys that the Blue Jays are going to be good. However, I will say that I think the Red Sox are due for a regression. Last year was kind of fluky.
Yeah.
The Orioles obviously are terrible. Nowhere close to competing. And I'm not sold on the Rays. I know they've been a pain in the butt. And there's a lot of other things that we've talked about the Rays on this podcast before. But I really do think this division comes down to the Yankees and the Blue Jays. And I do think both teams are going to have good years. And I almost want to say that the Yankees are going to have a really good year because if you take, so you guys were, talking about how strong the Blue Jays starting rotation is. The Yankees starting rotation is really good too. Like top to bottom compared to all the other teams in baseball, it's up there. And like the hard thing is, so Joe Paz, friend of the podcast, Joe Poznansky, wrote about this in one of his previews where he said, think about, he was talking about Garrett Cole and he's like, the likely leader, in terms of odds for Cy Young Award winner this year. And he goes, think about the people who are behind Cole, whether it's Robbie Ray, who won it last year, or a couple other guys. And he goes like, do you really think that they're as good as Garrett Cole? It's like the depth of starting pitching these days, when you get to like that really top tier is so what's the
Thin.
word I'm looking for?
Thin. Yeah. It's the top tier. Yeah, the top tier is thin. It's small. Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot of that. There's a lot of those middle pieces, like a Severino, like a JMO, like Monty. All these guys that are pretty serviceable. Are they going to be a Garrett Cole? Are they going to win a Cy Young? Probably not. But in today's game, and especially this season, when you're going to need a lot of innings out of guys, I almost see that as being even more of a strength than it was last year. And it was by far the biggest strength on the team last year. I mean, their pitching was fantastic. The bullpen was kind of up and down, during certain parts, but I think they found something with some of those guys. And, Chapman, that stat is
Oh my God.
crazy.
Remind us all, Colin.
Yeah. Tell everybody.
Yeah. So it's, there's a list of relievers who have thrown the most 100-mile-an-hour fastballs in the StatCast era. I don't remember when the StatCast era began, but number 5.
Before we get there, Chapman is 33 years old, well past the typical prime years for any baseball player, regardless of position, and he's been in the league for 12 fucking years. Now, granted, he's a closer. He throws a lot fewer innings than a starter does, but he has thrown a lot of pitches, and he throws really hard, as we're going to get to. Continue.
Also, other thing to note, I was watching baseball bits about Ricky Henderson the other day. They were introducing a clip where the starting pitcher was Todd Stottlemyre, who they were calling back in the day in the late 80s a power pitcher at 90 miles an hour.
Oh my God.
90 miles an hour was a power pitcher.
Yeah.
So these are 100 plus mile per hour pitches.
Yeah. Fucking crazy.
Continue, Colin.
Yeah. Which is still, this stat is more impressive given what Matt had just said, that more pitchers today throw 96, 97, on a pretty consistent basis. But to get to 100, that's still, pretty, there's a significant difference there. It's like when you're playing percentages and you get to 98%, like to get to 99% is much harder than it would be to get from 70 to 80%, or something like that. Anyway, the lowest, I won't read the names because they don't really matter, but number 5, 537 times. Number 4, 540 times. Number 3, 686 times. Number 2, 931 times. And number 1, Aroldis Chapman, 3,235 times he has hit 100 miles an hour or higher on the radar.
Just unbelievable. And by the way, I just looked, StatCast was introduced to all 30 stadiums in 2015. So we're talking about like the last, 6 years, give or take, right? But,
yeah. What's crazy about that is I think Jordan Hicks is on that list. Is he still in the Cardinals?
He's number 2.
Yeah. There was a time where he was hitting like 104 consistently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
but he just hasn't been doing it as long.
He kept it up for maybe 2 years and then
it just drops off.
Yeah. Petered out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. What is it, Colin? 3,600 something?
Yep.
But now,
I mean, God, that's 4 times more than second place. And we're talking about the same. It's the counting is the same. It's all in the StatCast era, right? Like we're not including the beginning of Chapman's career.
Right.
Yeah,
Exactly.
Talking, just like since 2015. Holy fuck.
No, but Chapman is also known as like an absolute gym fanatic. You can't get that guy to stop working out.
Yeah.
So I can see where he's maintaining this.
Still pretty remarkable.
I hope it's not steroids, but like
he's also a big guy. He's like 6'5", 250.
Yeah.
I mean, he could be a fucking linebacker.
I mean, I think he's like they talk about Mo this way too. A lot of people said that if he wasn't a pitcher, Mo still would have been the best athlete on the team.
Yeah.
And I think Aroldis makes Mo look like a a pipsqueak.
Pee-wee. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess what I'm getting at is I'm buying stock into the Yankees having their fuck you season this year. I'm buying Aaron Hicks, maybe not going 30-30, but I'm buying him bringing athleticism back. I'm buying Judge and Stanton putting together good seasons again. I'm buying Glaber having a bounce back. I'm buying DJ having a bounce back. And
are you buying Higashioka hitting 20 plus homers?
20 homers? Yeah, I could see Higgy doing that.
All right.
20 homers, yeah. I could definitely see him doing it. He's already got 7 in the spring. Like, come on, he could definitely do it. He's always shown pop. I think as much as I was never as much of a hater of Gary Sanchez as most people, I think getting rid of him will do more good for the team than it will had they tried to run it through one more year. Sometimes you just gotta cut bait. And I just think he was part of a core group of guys that was holding things back. And I don't know, maybe some of those coaching, although I find it hard to believe that Phil Nevin was a detriment to the team, given his personality and everything. But I think there is some urgency. Cashman is in a contract year, I'm pretty sure this season. Judge to this day is in a contract year. Maybe he'll have an extension by the first game of the season.
Damn it, Carlos.
Yeah. Yeah. Carlos kind of blew that the other day. Who knows if that was actually true or not, but I just buy it. And I think that they make a serious run this year. I think also at the trade deadline, they're going to get some help. I think there's going to be some pitching out there that's going to be theirs for the taking. And I see them going pretty deep. Do I see them getting to the World Series? I have no idea. It's too early to tell. But I could see this being like a 2019 season, like not all the injuries, but I could see this team being really deep, really good, and just clicking and having a really good season, and kind of turning back the clock for what the past two seasons have been like. No. I can also see the Padres having a bounce back. I can see the Dodgers, like you said, dominating.
But my biggest fear is like the Blue Jays haven't put it all together yet either.
Right. But the Blue Jays, so here's the one thing I will also say. The Blue Jays are much younger, and like, say what you want about everything about baseball. When you're young, it is just very difficult to figure it all out. And that is the reason that so many young teams fail.
Yeah, but how many years? Vlad's been in the league now 5 or 6 years.
But he's never experienced winning. There's nobody, whether or not he's been in the league that long or not makes no difference.
Vlad is 23 years old.
Yeah.
Okay, 4 years.
Yeah. It makes no difference anyway. He
made his debut in 2019.
Okay, 3 years.
You just need, like, teams need to in any sport. I feel like there needs to be those savvy veterans who come in, like the Josh Donaldson, who comes in with that FU attitude and kind of brings that
I'm kind of excited
edge to the team. Yeah, there was a really good Sweeney Murdy, shout out. We are Penn Stater and beat writer for WFAN for the Yankees. Wrote a really good feature on Donaldson and turned me into a Donaldson fan. I wouldn't say I was like crazy about them getting him. I know he's had a decent spring and he hits the ball hard and he plays good third base, but his attitude and the way that he leads, I think is something that has been missing. And they talk about that 2009 team all the time. Jeter had been a constant, obviously, and he had already been a 4-time world champion, but they hadn't won since 2000. And they talk about that team and like Nick Swisher coming in and AJ Burnett coming in and even C coming in and really changing the culture and like having a little bit more fun, doing things a little bit differently. And I think you were seeing that over the course of the past 2 seasons. Like Aaron Judge is just never going to be that leader. He's the Derek Jeter. He's going to be more calm, collected, reserved in the way that he leads. And Donaldson is, I'm not saying he's exactly like Nick Swisher, but he's more Swisher-esque in that sense. And I think that's a good thing for the team.
I think though, I want to remind there's a Canada factor here, because the Blue Jays can get 81 games where their opponent may not have their full roster.
Yeah, we're still at least a month away from the Yankees going to Canada, and a lot can change. So
just saying, there's a Canada factor too.
Everyone was freaking out a month ago that Aaron Judge wasn't going to play in any games in New York, and they figured that out. They'll figure out how to let these guys play.
Kyrie Judge?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay, but here's what I want to know. So if I obviously hope that you're right, Colin, and that the Yankees have this great year, but what I want to know is if they really put it together and they put together a great season and make a really deep run in the playoffs, is Aaron Boone going to get a nice share of the credit? Or does he only get shat on when they don't live up to expectations, but when they do well, Boone had nothing to do with it? That's what I want to know. Are all these Yankee fucking idiot fans gonna change their tune about Boone if the Yankees all of a sudden win 100 games and win the pennant?
I don't know that the attitude on Boone changes unless they win the World Series. And even if they win the World Series, Boone would have to win like 3 World Series in a row. I just don't think the fans that you're referring to have any love for him at all left. Those fans don't even have any love left for Cashman or Steinbrenner.
Which is so dumb.
Cashman in Cashman I trust, but my Boone tune is pretty pretty negative. So
yeah, I'm not crazy about Boone either, but I wouldn't be one of those people that would be like, he had no bearing on the team winning the World Series if they went out and won it this year. Like, come on, you can't win a World Series in spite of your manager. Like, as much as Ned Yost tried to make that a thing with the Royals.
Yeah,
like,
really. Oh my God.
Yeah, it's just impossible.
Hey, we'll bring your friend down from Chicago when the White Sox win the World Series this year. And
yeah, right. Oh, no way. They're gonna have a regression too. A team in the Central to look out for: the Detroit Tigers.
No,
Spencer Torkelson.
You heard it here first.
No, the Tigers are still 2 or 3 years away.
You heard it here first.
All right,
the Yanks are going to set the world on fire. The Blue Jays are also going to be very good, so I'll give my true prediction. First place for the Yankees, 104 wins, and I'll say right now yes to the World Series.
Oh my God, Colin has always been, for everybody who listening out there. So Colin and I have been.
Wait. Before you do this, I just want to say I was not this high on them last year.
What'd you predict last year? 101 wins.
Instead of I don't know. I don't know, but
98 wins.
I feel like you were this high on them last year too. Just saying.
I don't know. Maybe I was. It's recorded now, so next year.
G matches like he did in the playoffs, and Aaron has a great season, and everyone comes back from injuries, and Gary's going to be great, and Gary's going to be great, and Gary's going to hit like 35 home runs. They're going to win the World Series.
All we had was COVID to go off of the season before, and I was never that high on Gary. I was never that low on Gary, but I was never that high on Gary after like 2018. I just like, all right, is he going to hit like 20 homers and be an average catcher? Like, is that who he is? I think that's who he is. So he's not even that anymore, but
yeah. Colin is just the eternal optimist when it comes to the Yankees at the beginning of the season. And I love it. I respect it. It's a good balance because, I am not very much that way, and Matt isn't necessarily either.
Colin gets a lot of shit for that outlook, but I appreciate it.
Yeah, but I appreciate it. No, it's important. It's important. We need that balance here. If it was just me and Matt, we'd be like a couple of Eeyores over here, and we'd go and hang ourselves,
Gary sucks, and Boone can't manage, and once the sticky stuff's gone, Garrett can't pitch. Ugh.
Yeah, exactly. So it's good. It just cracks me up. Like that 104 wins and first, like that's fucking bold. That is a boldly optimistic prediction, but I appreciate
They won 100 games 2 years in a row, just 2 years ago.
104 wins is a lot. 104 is hard. Remember, we went and we looked at this. I don't know if it was on the pod or if this was just us hanging out, but
yeah, I think it's 106 is the number.
Well, that was the big thing. But even before that, like 100, 101, even 102, somewhat common. Like 103, 104 and above, really, really rare. And 106 and above, incredibly rare. But like even winning 104 games, like I have to look it up, but that shit doesn't happen that much. Like 102 and 101 has happened a lot more than 104.
Yeah.
That's a lot of wins. Yeah.
I love talking about 100 win seasons because Colin Scranton comes out. It's not 100 win seasons, it's 100 win seasons.
100.
Yeah, I love it. I love it. You're drinking the Scranton beer tonight. It's good.
Don't even notice it.
No, I know. It's unique. I like it. Hi, Yulia.
All right. While Ethan is chatting away, I have some quick trivia.
She says hi. All right. She was just giving me some food. All right, trivia.
What up, Yulia? So I watched the Donnie Baseball documentary on MLB Network on Sunday. It was good.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I will say I wish there was more post Yankee. It was like basically watching Yankeeography again. But Yeah, it is what it is. However, one cool piece of trivia that I never realized, and maybe you guys knew this, is that Donnie's number 23 is the only number retired in Monument Park that has never won a World Series title.
I didn't know that, but I could have deduced that, but I didn't know that.
Yeah,
That's
I
pretty
didn't know
good.
that either. Wow, poor
Yep.
guy. That's kind of a shitty distinction to have. Sad for him, but wow.
Yes. Another cool trivia stat, if you will. There's some details that go into this, such as like the number I'm about to give you is just guaranteed money, but there's roughly like another $15 million in minimum contracts that's going to bump the number up a little bit. But the current payroll, according to Spot Rack, is for the Oakland Athletics is $33 million. That's the same as it was in 1991. And so when you hear us on the podcast talking about Oakland and Tampa and all these stupid, quote unquote, small market teams that cry poor, same payroll from 30 years ago, when we know the value of baseball has grown exponentially since then. And I don't feel bad at all for the Oakland franchise in the way that they operate and say that they can't spend money because of the stadium. I feel very bad for the fans. And I feel very, very bad for fans of baseball in general, because this is just another example of a team that is just blatantly tanking right in front of our eyes. And the owners and commissioner don't seem to care at all. And that crushes the integrity of the sport, in my opinion.
Oh, it's despicable. Despicable. And such a shame for the fans. How could you even like remain a fan? I mean, my God, it would be so hard to stay a fan. Like, that's insane. Same payroll as 1991, you said?
When they were the highest payroll in baseball, by the way.
That would have been the Bash Brothers years, yeah?
Toward the end of them, I believe, yes.
Yeah. But just that's horrible. That's just awful. No excuse.
Yep. And then so you get to the other end of this. This is my favorite. So this came from Joel Sherman, a tweet sometime last week. And he said that the Mets deliberated for several days whether to take on $24 million for Eric Hosmer to deepen their pitching staff, and decided against it. And I think that's fucking hilarious that Mets ownership, who we heard was just going to spend whatever money they wanted to do whatever they wanted, is already feeling the pinch of that CBT. And it's like, I don't know that we actually want to pay that luxury tax, because guess what? They're fucking billionaires and they don't care about your team. They don't care about the fans. They care about their money. And so fuck you, Met fans. I hope they are terrible this year. And I love it though, that they're already feeling the pinch of that CBT.
Yeah, that's wild. I'm surprised by that. I figured Steve Cohen was just going to spend everything as just like a giant middle finger to everybody, have like a $400 million payroll. But wow. Of course, do they really need more pitching depth though? I mean, they got DeGrom and Scherzer. Like,
DeGrom's already out.
oh, I think I
6
saw
weeks.
that. Oh, I saw that. Yeah, Jesus Christ.
And Scherzer says he's going to start on Friday, but they're already kind of worried about him too. He's 37.
Is
he's old.
Thor back?
He's not with the Mets
he's,
anymore.
He's on somebody else's team.
Okay.
Yeah.
Padres, maybe? Angels?
He was on the
Angels.
Angels. No, somebody new now. It was the Angels. He's on somebody else's team now.
Okay. Yeah, he's not a Met. That's all that matters.
Yeah, no, he's long gone.
Yeah.
How's the soup, Ethan?
This is not the soup. This is actually a chicken thigh. We had some chicken thighs
Okay.
too.
Well, I have to butt in because there's another entry in the sometimes recurring segment of cheese stuffed pastas. Tonight,
Yay.
the cheese stuffed pasta is spinach ravioli.
Yum.
Fancy
ricotta.
and healthy.
Ricotta.
Thor is on the Angels. Thor is on the Angels. I'm sorry.
Told you.
Yep.
But yeah, very, very tasty.
What kind of sauce
Spinach
is that?
ravioli. You know,
Matt's homemade sauce.
Just marinara.
Yeah,
Red
dude.
sauce. Yeah,
Red sauce, yeah.
cool.
yum.
All right, so my last couple things with baseball all involve kind of rule changes, strategy type things. I don't know if you guys saw this, but on Saturday versus the Braves, the Yanks used a 4-man outfield.
Oh, no.
Get into that. Yes, we're getting to that in a second, Matt. So Brian Hoke, excuse me, Yankee beat writer, tweeted that Boone has wanted to do this for years, but he didn't feel like excuse me, they had the personnel. But he said this season you'll probably see it a lot: fly ball pitchers versus fly ball hitters, a 4-man outfield. I have no idea if this is part of the keep 2 infielders on the left side, keep 2 infielders on the right side rule change that's coming into play for 2023. But this one's interesting. I don't have a strong feeling one way or not against it, because I don't think I've seen it enough times, and I haven't watched old man softball to know how much a 4-man outfield really affects things. But that was really interesting to see, at the very least for me. I'd be interested to see kind of how it ends up playing out, if it has the same effect as like the shift as we kind of know it has in terms of strategy.
They're putting Glaber out there, right?
I don't know who they put out there, but I don't know if that changes, if there's just one designated person for it, or whatever it is. But I mean, I saw the picture. They were legitimately all 4, just spread out there in the outfield. So
I didn't know this was a thing now. I didn't know this was like allowed. That's super interesting.
Yeah, I think the Rays have done it a couple times. I want to say the Dodgers did it every once in a while. Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. Yeah, I'm with you, Kyle. I haven't seen it enough to really have like a strong feeling on it.
Yeah. And so before we get to Matt's thing, MLB did announce that replay reviews will those decisions will be announced to the crowd, a la the NFL. So we will know what the decision is, maybe why the decision was made. I don't know. They don't do that in the NFL or in college football, but I don't know necessarily that I really care. They don't do this in basketball. Tell you why somebody committed, or why they called somebody for committing a foul, and things like that. But or why they overturn a ball that hit somebody's hand and redirected one way, and things. But whatever, they want to bring something different to the game. I guess I'll give this one to them, but I don't really care.
I'm imagining Manfred sitting in his office going, that's why the people don't watch the game anymore. They don't know what's happening in the reviews. Yeah. We need to tell them what's happening in the reviews. That'll I saved baseball. Like, sorry, that's why
so
I'm
true.
Giggling to myself.
So true.
This is going to be the rule change that really makes a difference.
Yeah.
So the one rule change that I think will make a difference, and so I got to see it twice this weekend. I watched the Braves game on Saturday versus the Yankees, and Higgy was using it. And then I watched them play the Jays on Sunday, and whoever the Jays catcher was using it. And it was announced today that Major League Baseball has approved what's called PitchCom. And it is a wristband that the catchers use to signal their pitch to the pitchers. And I will say, both games that I saw this in action, the pace of play picked up significantly.
Yep.
It was delightful to watch. It was so cool. And so former Yankee David Phelps is actually a pitcher for the Blue Jays, and it was on the Blue Jays station. And so after he pitched on Sunday, they had him interviewed, and he goes, it was his first time using it because they just started introducing it toward the end of spring training. And I think teams are like, yeah, this is awesome. This rocks. Like, how come we didn't do this 15 years ago? And so they approved it today. But anyways, Phelps was saying how it was an adjustment at first, like the rhythm to, usually he's used to kind of staring in and everything. And he's like, I got to figure out when I need to shake off the catcher and when and know that he's looking at me. He's like, that's still a thing. But he goes, overall it was great. And I think Cortez got interviewed by the Yankees on Saturday. He was loving it.
Sevy liked it. I know they said he was enjoying it.
Yep. Sevy loved it too. Yeah. Meredith was talking about that. It was awesome. I don't know why a team wouldn't use it. I hope it's mandatory. I don't think it is, but I hope eventually it becomes mandatory. And yeah, it's going to change the game. You're not going to put signs down anymore and everything, but oh my God, just seeing the pitcher stare at the catcher and then just immediately get into a set and not have to play this like BS game of shaking off and waiting for like 7 signs to go through so the sign doesn't get stolen, whatever. Like,
yeah, or shielding it, or changing signs, or mound visits to go over things. Get rid of all of that. Just have the catcher go Buzz Lightyear style, beep, and like you got your pitch, right? It like shakes, right? It buzzes in the pitcher's shoe.
Yeah.
Or something.
So I can't remember which telecast it was. They were saying 4 people get access to it.
Yep.
And they were saying it's obviously the pitcher. They think the catcher kind of as like a backup to make sure what they're sending out is actually what's being received. And then they were thinking a middle infielder and maybe the center fielder are the 2 likely people, so they can relay signs to everyone else based on it. But yeah, it's so crazy that we're talking about this being life-changing when the NFL's been doing this for so long with quarterbacks and calling in plays from the sidelines. It's like, what took so long? Like, it's just another reminder that baseball's super slow on changing things. But this one seems like it picked up steam, quote unquote, quickly once they started to implement it. And I think it's a really good rule, not rule change, but a really good piece of technology that they're implementing into the game.
Yeah, sounds amazing. I had no idea that this was a thing. I've never heard of it. Sounds awesome.
Yeah, I heard it brought up toward the end of last year as a potential solution, and I'm glad to see they're moving quickly. I really don't see any downsides to this. I'm excited to see what it does for the game.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's going to be people who are like, oh, you can hack into that and steal the signs that way. But again, the NFL's been doing this for at least 15 years, right? Like, and I don't know any problems that teams have ever had about someone hacking in to get their play calls.
There's been rumors all the time that the comms don't work magically when you get to Foxborough, but
well, yeah. I mean, everyone says that about anything about the Patriots. They cheat all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Belichick actually has a secret CIA pass as a weapons grade electronics jammer, and he's got secret tin foil and molybdenum foil in his cut off sleeves. That's why it cuts the sleeves off, so he can beam the blocking jamming signals out of his armpits towards the opposing team.
You know what? I've been wondering that all my life.
You heard it here first, guys.
Yeah. That's amazing. Wow.
Sorry. That's a little too ridiculous even for me. Sorry, guys. Sorry to our listener out there.
Yeah, you owe so many apologies now. All right, what else?
That's it for me for baseball. I mean, I'm happy to talk. There's obviously other things to talk about, but those were the big things that came to mind for me over the past week.
So I got something a little zany here, but I have a come home from work routine. Usually it's sometime after 6, between 6 and 7, where I come home and I'll kind of go through the mail and start getting dinner ready and do dishes from whatever I brought to lunch. And I like putting the TV on, and I'm trying to stay worldly. So sometimes it's nightly news. I'll watch the nightly news, and sometimes I'll watch the Colbert Report or whatever, the Late Show from the night before. And that was tonight's selection. I watched the Late Show from Monday, and I have to say, if you guys get a chance, go watch. Shaq was a guest on the Late Show.
Wow.
And it's 15 minutes of ridiculousness, but there's some really good belly laughs mixed in there. Shaq just came out with a cookbook.
Oh my God.
And so they spend the last segment of the show is Shaq and Colbert making brownies together. And amazing. It was weird sometimes, but there's a lot of good belly laughs mixed in there, including Shaq calling out Snoop and Martha Stewart saying, "We're coming for you," and constant making fun of Charles Barkley. Or there's the question where Steven says, "Hey, where did you get this recipe?" They're making Colbert Diesel Oreo brownies because Shaq chose Oreos because black and white, because him and Steven are black and white. And so Colbert goes, "Where did you get this recipe?" And Shaq just goes, "YouTube." Again, a lot of fun. Also fun just for the second, like as you're doing dishes and going about your nightly tasks, and then you look up and you realize you've got a giant next to a hobbit on screen too. Like just that striking disparity was also very funny. But shout out to Shaq. He dropped some weight. He's looking trim, despite the fact that he was putting every sugar known to man in this mixture, but the brownies look good. So and Shaq's looking good too. But
Damn good for him.
I highly recommend that. That was a little bit of joy tonight while I was going through the kitchen routine after work.
Nice.
Awesome. Love it. Sweet.
Nothing from you, Ethan?
I don't think so.
Ethan never brings anything to the podcast.
How's the little tooting on your horn going? How are the students progressing? You playing any good banjo lately?
I've been working more on guitar. I mean, mostly I've been working on moving the last couple weeks, so I've just been really busy and stressed with that. But it's basically done at this point, so that feels really good. I'm a lot less stressed. The students are the students, the ones who give a shit, and the ones who don't, and it is what it is. I'm just happy baseball is back. Like, I thought that there was a real chance of losing a lot of the season.
Same.
And so the fact that we didn't lose much and that it's coming back just makes me just very, very happy. So that's it. That's all I got. And yeah, Colin, you're right. I never bring anything to the podcast. I like to keep things fresh. Okay. Let whatever comes to me in the moment, then that's gonna be it.
I'm glad that you said you were at least happy that baseball's back, because at first I thought you were going down a path to like an existential crisis there or something. Like...
Not at the end of the show. If I'm gonna have an existential crisis, I'll start it earlier.
Okay, for the listeners' sake, right?
Yeah, for the listeners,
for content's sake.
Yeah.
And that's the power of baseball. Like, it saves us from going crazy. Like,
yeah,
it's just
amazing.
That's right. Yeah,
Huey Lewis song.
And the reason that you don't ever bring anything to the show, even though you say you want things to be fresh, is because even on the show, you are in your magic factory, like just hanging factory.
Out. Magical music world. I kind of like Magic Factory. That's good too.
Oh, God.
I don't know what to tell you. I need to start meditating. Maybe that'll help. But
yeah, Matt and I won't hold our breath.
Yeah, you shouldn't. My brain is just very active. I just, jump around a lot and I don't know what to say,
Well, Matt's a chemical engineer, so I'm pretty sure his brain is hopping around.
No, my brain is dun 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 dun.
And jumping around is not an indicator of intelligence. I'm not implying that.
So you're saying you're stupid?
It's not an indicator of intelligence in any way. There's stupid people and smart people whose brains jump around a lot. Mine just, whatever I am, mine happens to jump around a lot, I think.
Man, first he drinks from an Illini glass, then he makes a Wisconsin reference like 3 times. And
Wisconsin?
They play, what's that band called with Everlast in it? That's like their song. They do the Jump Around song.
Oh, Jump Around.
Yeah.
Jump around.
What are they called? Oh man, like this is gonna bother me.
They're from Wisconsin?
No, but they play it at the Badger Stadium or whatever it's called.
Oh yeah, right.
Okay.
At the beginning of the 4th quarter.
Okay.
It's the dumbest thing ever. All Big Ten teams are terrible.
House of Pain, that's what it's called.
House
Which
of Pain.
You think, oh, what is these like white dudes rapping like House of Pain? What the heck's? And then you realize, oh, one of those guys is Everlast.
What is
that? Guitar troubadour who like he sings What It's Like. Come on.
Yeah.
No, you don't. No, you don't get my references at all.
Colin does. Colin got it. I think I didn't get it.
He's throwing the hat. He's upset.
I know. He's really upset now. Damn it. I was going to say something. Oh, Colin, we have that quote on record. You just said all Big Ten teams are terrible. We can take that out of context and just put that on its own. All Big Ten teams are terrible. Colin,
go ahead.
Soundbite.
Yeah, I would be happy if Penn State was in the Pac-12 or whatever it's called. Like,
isn't that Pacific? Isn't that what PAC stands for? Pacific?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, the geography at Penn State probably isn't all that great. They think they're on the West Coast.
Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah, they probably don't realize that. They probably get their oceans mixed up all the time.
I think it's time for us to end the podcast before I just say anything else stupid.
All right, that's fair.